Now I am going to show you how to work with the join clause. What is actually join in PHP? The join clause is used to combine rows from two or more tables based on a related column between them. You just see that there are different types of join. Just you understand this. I will show you with practical example, then you will understand. But just you look at this. The join is actually inner join or normal join. What is this? You see that there are some data here and some data here. For example, this is left table and this is right table. So in two tables there are something that is a common value. So the common value are given here into with the yellow mark. Okay, so this is the common value, and in this way I will get only the data of this common portion, and that is join or inner join. When there is left join, that means it will take all the data from the left table, and from right table it will take only those part that is into the common section. Okay, so this white section will not come, only the yellow part will come here. And in the right join, all the data from the right table will come, and from the left table only the common part will come. And in the full join, all the data from the left table and from the right table, everything will come. So this is called the full join. So here it is given that inner join returns the record that have matching values in both tables. Left join or left outer join, it returns all records from the left table and the matched record, that means the common record, from the right table. The right join is returns all record from right table and the method that matched record from the left table. Full join is returned all records when there is a match in either left or right table, that I already have shown you using this. Why join is necessary and why we do that? For example, I can show you this example, or I can show you with another example. For example, I have a student table, right? So I am going to show you that why join is necessary. For example, this is on table in the database, that is students table. Now I think that I want to give a city in this table. So what I will do, I will go to the structure and then I will just add a new column here after the phone. And here, for example, I am going to give you the name city here. So just give name city here, varchar, for example 30 or 50 I give here. Then I click on the save button, then the city field will come here, but there is no city. I manually am going to give some city names here, for example Khulna, then Dhaka, then for example Joshore. Then I am going to add other city, for example this one, then another city comes another time, and this one is another time, and this is this one. Okay, so these are actually the cities. Now the problem is, what is the problem? When I will use this type of things, you see that the city I manually write here is straight, but what will happen? For example, for any reason I see that the city name has been has any error. For example, in this way I have thousands of students or millions of students. Okay, so what will happen? How I can change the city name? If I do the hard code, I will have to change each row. For example, there are thousands of rows where the city name is Khulna, and I for any reason I am going to change it, the city name I go to change it. For example, Khulna, the spelling was mistaken, for example, for any reason, so I am now going to give it like this. Okay, so how you will do that? In order to do that, you will have to manually change all the city names from this table. So that is actually a problem. So in order to get rid of the problem, when we will assign the city, then we will not make the city column here. What we will do, I will create another table here. The table name will be cities, for example, and here the number of column will be 2. I am going to create the city. Okay, here go to ignore. So here I am going to give one is city ID and another one I am going to give here, that is city name. Okay, so ID is integer and city name is, for example, var character 50 characters. And here the city ID in this table, in the cities table, the city ID will be primary key, so I am going to make it primary. So here just go to the next, and here I am going to give it primary key, and this will be auto increment. As this is the ID, it will be auto incremented. Now I am going to save this table and the table will be created. You see that now I have another table, that is cities table. Now in this table I just insert some cities, for example Khulna, this is another city, one city. Then I give here another city, that is Dhaka. Then another city I give here, that is Burishal. Then another city I give here like this. Also another city I give here like this. So I have the cities table in my hand and these are the city names, right? So in this table, be careful that in this table city ID is primary key. So in the cities table, the city ID is the primary key of that table, and in the students table the ID is the primary key of students table, right? And the city here I am going to remove it. I will just remove this table. Now this one is back. How I will work? So you see that this is the cities table and the city ID are given here. I will use the city here in this table, and here the city will be used as the foreign key. So here I am going to the structure. I will call here another row item in the last, and that name I am going to give city ID. So this is city ID. So here I just give to save the name, and you see that in this table there is city ID. So city ID is, for example, this person live in the city Khulna, so I will give here 1. For example, another one is in the Khulna city, another one is 2, and in the Dhaka city this person live and this person live. And in other cities 3, 4, 5, this person live in 3, this person live in city number 4, this person in the city number 5. So in this table I will just call the ID. Now what happens? You see that if this table has thousands of students or millions of students, then there is no problem. I will not touch this table at all. What I will do, I will just go to the table. In this table the data will not be long. You know, the city name only can be maximum 100 or 80 or only 20 cities or 10 cities, this type of. So here you will just, if any spelling mistake occurs, you will just change this one, so it will be automatically changed in this table because the ID is referred here. The city ID in this table will be used as the foreign key. Now if I want that, I want to get the students who live in the Khulna city, how I will get that data? In order to get data, I will have to join these two tables, otherwise I will not be able to get the data. I can call the nested loop, but that will actually not the real thing, and that will make a problem in real world. For example, if I want that, I am going to solve this using raw method without join, and I will do this thing again with join. For example, in this table I am going to search the students who lives in Khulna city. So what I will do, without join I will have to write the query like this. So let's do that. For example, select all from the cities table. Okay, so I am going to get the information from the cities table. Where? So where the city name equal to what? This is Khulna. So like this. So here if I want to get the result, I am going to get the result, and if I now run it, you will see that the city name is Khulna I get, right? So what I will do, I am just going to get all the result data. That means for each, and then I am going to call the result for each result as row. And here you will see that if I call the row of city name, so you will see that the city will come in front of me like this. So Khulna is in the output. Now I have one city in my hand, and when there is one city in my hand, what I will do, I will just another query here. That means into here I will run a nested query. So I am going to copy this and paste it here, but be careful that you do not use the same variable here. I am going, for example, to write here R and select all from students. So here I give students where the city ID, okay, where the city ID equal to what. You see that when I am into this loop and then call this one, I have from this loop I have the row of city ID in my hand, right? So I have this row of city ID in my hand. So with this city ID I am going to search. That means where city ID equal to this one, row of city ID, and here I am going to give, for example, result 1, and I am going to call the for each loop again, the result on as row 1. So from the table I will get all the data where city ID equal to Khulna. That means from this. So this is actually the nested loop. If you understand the nested loop that I have on lecture, I showed that how nested loop work in the for loop class. If you understand that, you will easily understand this also. I showed their pyramid program, so if you understand that program, you will easily understand it. So now let's check. I am going to show the student. For example, I want to show the first name of the student who lives in Khulna city. So here what I will do, echo, here I will call the row 1 of first name, and each time I will give a new line. Okay, so refresh and you will see that Smith and Daniel, 2 persons are in the Khulna city. So from here you see that the Khulna city ID is 1, and in this I see that these 2 persons are live in Khulna city because city ID equal to 1, Smith and Daniel. If you now want to get the persons who lives in the Dhaka city, give here Dhaka and just refresh. You see that Ricardo and submit, 2 persons. So Dhaka city means 2, so this is Ricardo and here is submit. So this is working, but actually this is not recommended method. Why? If you see that there are total students 5,000 and total cities are 100. So how many times my program will be executed here? It will first search by 1000 table, but in each iteration it will first search it in the 100 table. For example, 100 cities are there, and in each city it will search. For example, if there is 100,000 student, 1000 student, then the loop will iterate for 1 lakh times. So this will take more time to get the result of this query. So this is not an efficient method at all. So in this type of case I can easily solve it using the join query. Okay, so now I am going to use the join, inner join or join. So let's do that. I am going to copy this and paste it here. I will work. I can easily do this thing. I will just search the student, right? So my main table is students. So I will use here select all from students, where actually I need the city ID, right? But here I want to give the city name as the query. But before going to do that, let's check to show all the students by the city name. Okay, so let's do that first. So I am going to do the join query. So here I will have to write select all from students. Then I will have to call join. Okay, select all from students. Then I will join another table like this, select all from students. Then I will join the students table with cities table. Okay, and then there will be a 1 means based on which you are joining these two tables, that you will have to set using the 1. You see that the students table, I am going here, the students table has the ID, has the city ID, right? So it has the city ID, and the cities table has the city ID. So the cities ID of the students table and the primary key of this, that is the city ID, both thing I will have to give here, that it will be joined based on the city ID, where city ID of students table equal to the city ID of the cities table, like this. If you write this thing will be joined. Now if I want to get the result, what will actually happen? Now let's check the result. If I run it, you will see that the city name comes here automatically. Okay, so though the city name is not in the students table, no city name, but joining these two I get a result where you see that there is a city name also. So these are the items of the first table and these are the items of the second table. You can also specify the information, and I am going to do one thing, that is you see that the students, you have to write the full table name again, right? And also cities, again you have to write this full table name. But I can do one thing, that is I can make a short name here. So from students, if I give a space and write S, this space and S, this S is now the short name. So in the 1 you can easily use the S. The cities, for the cities I call, give a name here C. So here instead of cities I can call here the C.city ID. So this query is more optimized now. And if you want to show the data, you will see that the same output is here. Now I am going to show, for example, I do not show all the data, I do not want to show, I want to show only the first name from the students table. But here become careful, when you will select something like that first name and cities, I will show city name, these two items I will show, but you will have to mention from which table it is coming. So the first name actually is into the students table, so you will have to write here s dot first name, and the city name you are selecting, that is actually into the cities table. So here you will have to call c dot city name. And also you know that there is a city ID, because without this ID you cannot join. So here you also have to give those two here, otherwise it will show error. So s dot city ID, and another one is c dot city ID, comma. Okay, now what will be in the output? Refresh, you see that only the first name and the city name, these two are showing. So in this way, if you just remove the city ID, what will happen? You see that it is it also comes, no problem. You can also omit that in this case, but in some cases you will have to put the ID, but here you do not need to do that. So this is very easy. I hope you have understood. So in this way you can just make it output using a table. I am not going to show you because I hope you have understood how it works. You can join more tables. For example, a student has the city ID here, the city table. There can be also a country table, right? So what I am going to do, I am going to create another table, that is countries. And in the countries table I also give here two items, ignore wall, and here country ID, and another one is country name. So in the country table, the first one, this will be primary key auto increment, and here it will be varchar and 50 characters. Now if I go to create it, you will see that another table created by the name countries. I am going to insert some quick data, for example Bangladesh, and here for example USA. So I add two data in the countries table, so Bangladesh and USA. You also see that in the cities table there are these cities. I am going to put another one. For example, the last two cities are not in Bangladesh, that is New York, and another city here is, for example, Boston. 4 and 5. So 4 and 5, these two person has the New York, USA. Now in this table I am going to add another structure, that is I am going to, after the city ID, I am going to give country ID. So like this, country ID. I am going to save it, browse. The first person is lives in first country, another country, same country, Bangladesh, this is Bangladesh, and the 4 and 5 are USA country. So like this is country table. If I want to get the students of here, you see that all the students I get. So similarly I want to show the country of the students. So like this, what I will do, I will use here another, I am going to give a gap so that you can understand. I am going to add another one, that is countries also see. So I am going to give here another name, that is country CO, city is CI, and country is, for example, CO. Okay, so in the top I will have to give here ci.city name, and here is ci.city ID. Country is CO, but here I will have to join it from with the S table, that means student table. I have the country ID, so I am going to relate the countries with the student table, right? So student table and country table I am going to link up, where s.country ID equal to co.country ID. So here what I can do, I can easily check it here, refresh. It is telling that countries not found. Countries, I am going to check the table name. The table name is countries. Here is the problem. So it is actually countries. So I am going to rename the table name. Now it should work. Now I am going to refresh. You see that two data are given here, but I want to show another data. So what I will do, I will put here in the list select. So select here co.country name. So from country table I call the country name. So the country name now will be shown. You see that the first person lives in Khulna city, Bangladesh country, Dhaka city, Bangladesh country. This person lives in New York City, USA country. So in this way you can join multiple tables, you can join more and more. So I suggest you to practice it more and more so that you can understand. Here I did not call any where query yet. Here I can call that where I will search everything, where the city ID, okay, where the city ID is. So from the S table you can call the city ID. So s dot city ID equal to what, that I am going to give here in there, where the city is Khulna. I will only get the students information where the city is Khulna. Now if you refresh it, you see that there is no ID because S ID is not defined here. So I will have to give here S ID like this. Now if I refresh, it is not working. City ID is actually not Khulna, city name, sorry. So where the city name is Khulna, I'm going to remove it. Now let's check it. Column not found, s.city name. You see that I am going to change the city name. It is not actually into the S table. City name is to into the CI table. So I will have to give it very properly. And you see that only two persons come here who lives in the Khulna, this city. You can also search it by like that, co.country. For example, I am going to search by country name, where co.country name equal to what, here I give the name Bangladesh. So in the Bangladesh country there are total 5 students, 1 2 3 4 5. And if you want to call the students who live in the USA country, now you see that the two persons live in USA, I get all the information from of them. So in this way the join query works. I hope you have understood it well. Now I am going to give you another very important thing, that is inner join, that I already have shown you. This is on table, this is another table, this is department. In this example I give the department ID, the department is given here. So this student is under which department, so you see that all the data is coming here. So from this table all the data will come, and as it is inner join, I only the common fields will be shown here. Very important to see one thing, you see that here is Khulna, Dhaka, etc., but the department has here an extra department, that is physics, right? Physics, English, physics and English too, but these two departments are not in this table. And in this table you see that department ID I give an invalid ID, for example 0 or 6 or 7 like that, which is not here. That means in this table I have something that is not here, and in this table I have something that is not here. So in this table you see that the number 8 is not here, that means this department ID does not exist here. And in this table I have two departments that are not existing here. So what is the result, what is the output? You see that only the common fields are here. From this table you see that the number 1, this does not get here. So according to the rule of the inner join, I will only get those data that are in the both table. So this row will be omitted. So you see that Smith, Peter, all the information are come up to Marvi, but the Fierta, his information is not here because his data is not in this table. Similarly here you see that English and physics, this two item is here, but here you see that only those students are with the department are here, but these two are not presented in this table. Only the common items are here. So this is a very basic example of inner join. I hope you have understood. I am going to check the code how you can work. So I already have shown you the inner join. You will have to just first write inner. You see that here I used the join. You can also call the inner join here. So this will give you the same result, join or inner join, both are same. But if you come here, if you yes, inner join is okay. So the similar way I already have shown you very well this here, so you will now understand this code very easily. I am going to show you now left join. What is left join? The left join, the same table I use. Left join means all information from the left table will come, and from the right table only the common fields will come. You see that by force I have all the things, and the Fierta is also present here, but the Fierta has no department because this 0 is not presented here. This will kept empty, this will remain empty, but this will come in the result set. Okay, will be empty, but this will come in the result set. But this department that are given here, English and physics, that are not here. Okay, this is left join. What is in the left join code? Just instead of inner join, you just use here left join here. The other codes are similar. Now I am going to show you the right join. In the right join, all that items from the right side will come here, but the left side will not come. So you see that from here up to Marvi it will come, right? Peter, Marvi, it will come, James, Marvi, like this. But as this is right join, you see that all departments must come. So common items are ended here up to here, but it says that there are two more items, English and physics, so it will bring those data here. But English and physics has no student, so the student table is kept fully blank here. So this is the right join, and the code for the right join is here. Just you will have to use here right join on this, and this is very simple. I hope you have understood. Then full join. Actually in PHP there is no query where you can write the full join, but understand the concept first. Full join means all things from here will come and all things from here will come. So you see that up to 8 column everything comes, including the Fietta. Okay, his ID is here, but in this there is no data because the Fietta has no department, so this is blank. Up, and then the rest too from this table will come, but it has no student data and it is kept blank. But all the data from department comes and all the student comes here. So this is actually the full join. And the full join code, actually there is no full join statement in the PHP MySQL. Okay, so you cannot use the full join here. You will have to make a trick here, that is you will have to call the union. There is a union keyword. You can use the union, and using the union you can do that. For example, I will join two tables first, left join, and another one is I will do the same thing for the right join. The previous left join, what I did here, you see that here I did the left join. So you will have to do the bring the code from this, and also from the right join what we wrote, I will also call this, and these two I will join using union. You see that the select everything that I already wrote there, I come from student, left join departments, and this, and similar thing, same code I will write here with the right join. When left join and right join I will bring using union, then the output will exactly come like this. That means the full join will work. This is the trick to work with the full join. So I hope you have understood everything about the join I described in this lecture.